and boy does it take a lot more work. I do a corneal transplant in an hour flat. A DALK takes me about 2 hours to do because you have to pray very hard, especially when the cornea is so thin and there's scarring. So you've got to do a mixture of big bubble, dissection, all kinds of every trick in the book to get you to do this. So it takes a long time. So if the cornea is thick enough, but not thick enough to do something, you can do CXL, cross-linking, and then you can do a PRK 6 months later. Or you can do no PRK because the cornea is just too thin. Or if it's really thick enough, then you can do a TCAT PRK mitomycin and cross-linking. You can do a partial astigmatic and higher order aberration correction. You can do an astigmatic and higher order aberration correction. And you can do a higher order aberration correction only. And now I'm going to give you a glimpse of what I've been doing. So CXL alone in both eyes, so on and so forth. Let's go through one by one. See, this is a lady with CXL alone. No other things done to her eyes. Didn't do much to her refraction. In fact, sometimes make it worse. The reason is because when you change the corneal curvature, you're changing her optics of her eye that she's been used to with her brain. So now she's changed. So she takes time for her to accept the new vision you have. But I find it most disappointing to me. Sometimes the patients tell me, Doc, in fact, this lady is so happy. She says her quality of vision, the smearing of her vision has gone off or at least reduced. So we're doing something good for them. So TCAT PRK with cross-linking. Now the problem with doing this is what do you put into the laser? I asked everybody, and John told me last year, start off with half sphere, half cylinder. So I've tried all the different versions, and so this is one patient where I did a slight undercorrection of her astigmatism. So you can see the result, not bad. The vision result is good though. So you can see the pellucid marginal, the lobster claw opening up. Now, I did a TCAT with full correction of cylinder. And this one, as you can see, did better. You can see a much nicer topography. Just imagine years ago you tell someone you can create a cornea like this from that. You won't believe it. Now, this one is with, I did a really over-the-top astigmatic correction. I still had astigmatic correction left behind. So obviously the manifest refraction is not the way to go. Now, that's the difficulty. Do we trust it enough to do a corneal topographic cylinder correction? That's something I'm looking into now. Okay, so this one is with a severe overcorrection, and because the cylinder is so high, you don't have enough tissue. So this is basically overcorrection of the cylinder. Not a bad result, but still difficult to predict. And after Professor Zeiler's lecture, I understand why now. Now this is a patient where, it's very interesting, this is a contralateral eye study. I did one eye, right eye, astigmatism and higher order aberrations, and I got a pretty nice result with half the cylinder. And the left eye, only higher order aberrations, and you get a nice result as well too. See, this is how the eye healed up for the eye with the PRK and half the cylinder. And this is the other eye of the same patient, but now without any astigmatic corrections. It's a good result too, but unfortunately much higher astigmatism residual. So there's the results at the bottom there. Now, TCAT PRK cross-linking in post-LASIK ectasia. This is the patient that made me fly all the way to Professor Zeiler's office in Switzerland to learn cross-linking, and he was kind enough to keep a patient for me so that I could watch. I flew in that morning, 15 minutes from the airport into the hotel, another 15 minutes into IROC, and another 15 minutes I saw the cross-linking. It was actually pretty fantastic. So this is that patient. He's doing very well. He's doing so well that he refuses to come in for any more checkup. He only brings his girlfriend in with a sore eye, with a pink eye, and then he comes in. So he's a crazy guy, but luckily it saved me for one lawsuit. Now I'm going to show you my luckiest CXL case. Now this is the patient. So I did cross-linking with PRK on him, but he wouldn't heal. It took me 3 weeks to get his epithelium to heal. Later I found out that at home he was so bored he was playing computer games through the night. So with his bandaged contact lens and dry eye and not sleeping because he was so bored staying at home, he wouldn't heal. Finally he healed. You see the last picture on the right bottom there with a little bit of haze. But guess what? He had one of the best results I've ever seen. Okay? He ended up with such a beautiful cornea, and it's sometimes better to be lucky than to be smart, because these are all the difference maps. Because he ended up with double layer scarring. So I think he strengthened his cornea twice. One with the cross-linking below, and one with the sub-epithelial cross-linking he did himself. So he's doubly strong now. Now, in this patient, I just want to show this is my second last slide. We have been told that in keratoconus, the epithelium is thinned out over the cone. I don't see that in my keratoconics, and I want all of you to go back with your corneal OCTs and look at it. In fact, the epithelium is thicker. And I believe that when you have a keratoconus or ectasia, the cornea is collapsing in that area. So the back part is coming up, and the front part is actually coming down, and the epithelium is trying to cover over it all the time. So go back and have a look. I've looked at all my keratoconics, and I want everybody to have a look too. Because what is reported in the literature is that the epithelium gets less under the cone. This was Dan Reinstein's with his Artemis. I have an Artemis, and no matter what my technician does, we cannot see the epithelium the way we see an epithelium in the corneal OCT. Okay? So I have both machines, so I think the data that is produced from the Artemis for the corneal epithelium is not very accurate. Okay? This is my last two slides, sorry. Predictability is a problem, okay? Difficult cases to refract, need more cases to improve the results. The key is getting the astigmatic correction correct. All cases though improved. So you're not going to make him worse, you're going to make him better. Some with really dramatic results. Most improved and best corrected visual acuity. Post-LASIK ectasia seems to be better. Mild cases get better results. Of course. CXL with PRK gives a better topography and best corrected visual acuity than CXL alone. Treating astigmatism and higher order aberrations is better than treating higher order aberrations alone. All patients feel that quality of vision is better, whether CXL alone or with everything else added. Thank you very much. Yes, that's right. Prof said the most important point of my whole lecture was that you have to play computer games at night, over through the night, so that you get double scarring, double CXL.